something completely different then. Is it fair to say that this is your most heavy album today?
Oh yeah.
Well, we've been told that already, so that's not just us saying it, you know. But what we can say from our end is that the most honest Blackstone Cherry album. Not saying anything about the other ones at all, but because just the simple fact that we did this one on our own automatically is the most honest, because there was only us four and the engineer, executive producer, that we had to answer to. You know, the decision was made; it was about us. If an idea came up to do something on the album, it was about us. So that's, you know, you can't get any more straightforward Blackstone Cherry than that.
Do you know why, when now all the choices were up to yourselves, why it gravitated more towards the heavier riffs and the?
Because that's the stuff we like to play, man. I mean, like when we play live, we would play a set list just full of heavy songs if we could. But obviously, we've got songs that, you know, we have to play that are not that heavy. But I don't know, man. We've just always liked the heavier stuff.
We've always been a rock band. We've always liked riffs that are heavy and then groove, and you know, that's just always been us at the core. You know.
So does that go back to your influences as well?
Yeah, man. I mean, well, when we were first starting out, it was just, you know, songs were riff, 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 and then a chorus.
Yeah.
So it's, man, we just, I don't know. I mean, the heavier nature is just kind of brought well to the forefront on this album. You know, it's not a metal record, but it's just it's heavier in a groove kind of thing. You know.
Yeah.
And you say you like to, in the live shows, you like to perform the more heavy songs. So in terms of the live show, will it change now that the album is a bit different as well? Or was it always like that?
I guess it'll depend on how people react to the album.
Yeah. I mean, we're doing a song off the album right now. It's the softest song we've ever done. Basically, people are loving it.
Right.
Granted, when we do songs off the new album, the set's it's gonna be a little meatier because just the songs are already, you know, more intense, and they lend themselves to be played live more, you know. But that's all kind of to be seen what songs we're gonna do. You know, right now the first single, "In Our Dreams," is one of the heaviest songs, and then we're doing a song called "The Rambler," which is the softest song. And they're both going over great, and they're both on the new album. So, you know, we'll see.
If we take The Rambler, then you say it's the softest song. Where did that originate? Was it written in the same space of time as the other songs?
That song actually came from a friend of ours, a guy named Jason Todd. He was the original guitar player in Shinedown, and he was on tour playing guitar in a band that was opening up for us in the States. And he kept telling us he had a song he wanted us to hear. And he came up on the bus one night and played it for us and had us all in tears, man. We were like, this song is incredible. We would love to help you finish writing it, you know, and record it as one of our songs. And he was thrilled at the idea, so we kind of helped him change some stuff, you know, rework the melodies, and we added the entire bridge section and, you know, changed some lyrics here and there. And the song came out just beautiful, man, but, you know, a lot of the credit has to go to him because he's the one that brought the song to us.
Well, that's one thing I wrote down, and now it starts to make sense. But there was one song, "When Your Heart Breaks Down," that was mentioned in the bio, but I didn't see it in the track listing. So is it?
That's
the same song.
Okay,
the
same song.
official title is "The Rambler."
Yeah.
Okay. And am I right in saying that for you it was then also an emotional song to record?
Yeah, man. It in the studio, man. This song like really got to me. I never had anything happen like that before. Singing before, where I got choked up and had to stop singing, and I just got to thinking about singing those lyrics. You know, thinking about being away from your kid and your wife and the loved ones you've lost and stuff. And it got to be a little bit too much there for a little while, and had to kind of take a break and walk away from it and then come back.
And you haven't really started touring yet, but when you perform, do you revisit those kind of emotions that you have attached to the songs?
You can't help but think about that stuff. But you try to keep it in the back, you know, and not let it come out forward. But I mean, I have before. I've completely lost it on stage at shows, and
Okay.
I mean, it happens, man. There's nothing you can do about it. But I think that honesty is part of what people like about us. You know, that there's not a big filter between who we are and the people that come to see us.
Finally, then, you've been at at being in band for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's still the same 4 core members, which is quite rare in the rock industry.
Yeah.
So what do you attribute your longevity to?
We were all friends before we were in a band together. And before we were a band with a record deal, we were just 4 dudes that liked to go play music on the weekends. You know, I mean, I think that's the thing, man. Like a lot of bands now, the singer gets a record deal, then they build a band around them, and they call it a band. Well, it's not a band. I'm sorry, it's just not. A band is something that gets a record deal together, and you know, I mean, that's the way we did it, and that's the way we've always been, the way we'll always be.
Yeah.
It's always been the 4 of us or nothing at all.
And everything is equal, you know. We treat this like a unit, and that's what's helped us. Not one person makes all the decisions, not one person writes all the songs, and it's very much takes 4 of us to make it all happen.
Sure.
And yeah, we just it's just the way we're all cut from the same type of cloth like that, you know.
Well, since you've been friends for so long, then is there something you've discovered about Chris in the past maybe year or 2? Something new you've learned about him?
I'm not an asshole anymore.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, actually. No, you know what is funny about us is that, you know, before we even started touring together, and this is another thing that really helped us, is that a lot of bands will start and they'll play some shows, they'll get signed, they'll go on tour, and then they get on tour and realize they hate each other because they can't live with each other. Mm-hmm. For us, we spent so much time together when we were younger. We knew each other on such a personal level before we even started touring, that all it was just taking, from spending the night at people's houses, we just took that to, you know, a van and then a bus. So we had that advantage, is that we were so close before. So we know, I mean, people, always, you grow older and grow wiser and this and this and this, but, the core of each person in the band, everybody kind of knows, Right, I mean, it's just, there's not a lot of, I don't think there's a lot of stones unturned, personal, anything between the 4 of us. I mean, we're an open book, and you have to be that way.
We know weird shit about each other, so.
If any one of us gets mad and writes a book,
oh God,
the next guy's in a lot of trouble.
Well, one more thing then, because because you are such close friends and you know everything about each other, and you say you write songs quite quickly. Is the songwriting process easy because of that, or can there also be arguments?
Oh, there's been times we wanted to kill each other writing a song, but that happens, once every 10 songs, to where the other 9 are like, if it's not happening within 15 or 20 minutes, then we're like, fuck it, on to the next idea. Yeah. But I mean, no, there's been moments in the studio where me and John Fred are screaming at each other.
On this record?
Not
a lot on this one. Maybe in the earlier days. I can't remember on this one.
I don't think there was.
There might have been just a couple tense moments, like going back and forth between a part, maybe.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're all on the same team. We all want the same end effects. It's not a personal thing.
Yeah.
Like, well, I came up with that. I want that in the song. It's like.
Yeah. It's not. It's never that. It's always something stupid.
Yeah.
And we'll get pissed off about it. And it's always me and John Fred.
Yeah.
Me and John Fred have known each other since we were like 5 years old. We went to kindergarten all the way through school together. So we fight like brothers on about once a tour, once an album. It's going to happen at some point, and then 15 minutes later we're fine. But dude, that's the shit that you live for. You know what I mean? Like but without a little bit of that rub, it would just be boring as all get out. I mean, we all bitch about something at some point, but it always ends up being in good fun, and it always ends up working itself out.
Fair enough. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.